Hello and welcome. So today I'm going to be talking about Rhino, Mr. OG Tank Everything himself. With Rhino being gotten pretty significantly early in the game, this is usually going to be baby's first craftable Warframe. I'm going to be going over his abilities a little bit and along with a new player build and setup. I do have two in-game builds. Once I get through with the new player build and that kind of guidance and whatnot. So without further ado, let's get into our big old tanky boy. Alright, for starters, we have the Archon shards here. These are all to taste just based off of what I have mod-wise and arcane-wise. So these are going to likely change for you unless if you just copy my build verbatim, which you are more than welcome to. But I've got a bunch of energy shards here to give me some energy, and then I like having duration on my Rhino so that my roar and whatnot lasts a little while. And then speaking of roar, let's go into the passive and then his ability. So his passive is when he falls from like a decent enough height, he just makes a shockwave. I know, riveting stuff. I really wish that they would change his passive, but the rest of his kit's really good, so an underwhelming passive isn't the end of the world. So Rhino's charge is his first ability. He just dashes forward and basically just yeets everything he sees. There's a little bit of invincibility, and this can also be like an okay movement tool. So all in all, not too bad. It honestly needs its augment. Alright, his second ability is Rhino Skin. So this is what makes Rhino the tanky boy that he is. So the Rhino Skin converts his armor and power strength and then any damage that's taken during like a 3-ish second interval into Overguard. And you can get the Overguard to some pretty ridiculous numbers. So that's where all of Rhino's survivability basically comes from. You just get hundreds of thousands of, there's even builds that have millions of Overguard, and it's just really hard to do anything to Rhino with that much Overguard. Then for his third ability, we have Roar. This is also his Subsume, and this is a very widely used Subsume for two reasons. One, Rhino's the first Warframe you get, like I mentioned earlier, but also Roar is a very, very powerful damage buff, and it's not just a damage buff for your weapons or your melees, it also applies to Warframe abilities. So this is just an all-around, just universal kind of damage amplifying buff. And it's really, really strong and really, really good, and that's why I like having duration on it. Then lastly, for his fourth, we have Rhino Stomp. He just stomps the ground, if I could talk, and then the enemies that are around you get suspended, and then you can go ahead and then shoot them, run away, get off me. You can just use it as whatever kind of tool you need it to be at that time. It can be a get off me tool. It can be a just deal with the problem while it's just suspended in the air. It can be a little versatile, but yep, that is his four. And with that, we're going to get into the new player build here. So Dreamer's Bond in the Aura slot. This is a junction reward, so you should have this by the time that you do get Rhino. Dreamer's Bond is great. It's got this universal polarity in here, so you can throw it into whatever Warframe you want to. Very, very nice, giving you an extra 14 capacity to use on your Warframe. Then sticking with the junction rewards here, we have both Flow and Streamline. Flow giving you more energy to use more abilities, and then Streamline giving you more efficiency to cast more abilities. And then we've got Continuity here for more ability duration, and then Intensify for ability strength. These will be gotten a little bit later. I think you get these in the Void, but these are still going to be really nice to have, and you go there fairly early if memory serves me correctly, so these shouldn't be too hard to snag. Also, if you're looking at your Rhino, if you're a newer player and you're looking at this and you see 130 on your screen, but mine's 160, that's because of the Archon charts that I had mentioned earlier. So if you're seeing 130 because yours is maxed, don't worry, there isn't some big glitch or anything. It's just the Archon charts that I have, so yours is fine. Don't worry about that. You'll get to the Archon chart thing later. And then rounding up the survivability here, we have Steel Fiber and then Vitality. Steel Fiber, of course, is for the armor for Iron Skin to give you a bunch of Overguard. And then Vitality is a curious choice here because the regular Rhino comes with with 2D polarities, if memory serves me correctly. So this is going to fill into one of those slots, and then this also helps so that if you're caught in between your Rhino skin, since I don't think anyone's going to have the augment for his 2 right away, this is going to enable you to take a little bit of damage as you're able to cast your Rhino skin again. If you're caught in between your armor going down, if you're just kind of caught in a hard place or whatnot, you can take some hits before recasting your 2. So that's the reason why there's a little bit of health in this build. And then that pretty much rounds out the new player build. So let's get into the in-game setups. Not that one. Not this one. This is what we used to do on Rhino. That has changed a good bit. I just have this here because I like being nostalgic. And we used to use Arcane Taker for armor. Man, those were the days. But now what we do is we convert shields into armor. So I'm going to go over all the mods here just really quick. So I like growing power for more power strength. Preparation to give me a bunch of energy on spawn. Well, max energy on spawn. Transient fortitude. Blind Rage, this is more power strength with the Umbral Intensify, and then the Umbral Fiber going into the Iron Skin, just armor, power strength, a little bit of duration, the idea of the build here. Prime Redirection to go ahead and give us shields to fulfill our Subsume here, which is Parasitic Armor. So what this will do is when we use Parasitic Armor, it'll get rid of all of our shields, and then it'll convert all of that into armor. And then we can then use that to gain a massive amount of Iron Skin. And to help with that massive amount of Iron Skin, we have Ironclad Charge. So what this will do is for each enemy that's hit, it increases Rhino's armor percentage rating, basically. So that increases the percentage of Iron Skin that you get whenever you press 2. So this is really good for a Rhino skin-based build like what this is, to just get a really high number. And then we have Iron Shrapnel. This is an augment for his 2. This really just kind of should be built into his 2 at this point. But what this basically does is it lets you recast his 2. So if you're about to run out of Iron Skin or whatnot, and then you go through the whole rigmarole, again, of getting a bunch of armor, you can cast the 2 to get rid of everything, and then cast it again to then reapply it with all the buffs that you have, so that way you're not caught with your pants down. And then to go with the shield, we have Arcane Expertise here. This is going to convert the power strength into shields, which is why I'm focusing a lot on the power strength on this. And also, this is a curious choice I like. Arcane Circumvent. So when you roll through enemies, you're going to steal their defenses, and you also steal their armor. We need that. So the idea with the build is to get them all together, roll through them, then charge through them with the 1, and then that is when you use your Parasitic Link to go ahead and then convert everything, your shields into armor, then you hit the 2, and then you're just going to get a bunch of overguard from that. If you did not want to use Arcane Circumvent here, this can be taken out. And Arcane, where is Arcane Battery? Arcane Battery right here. So Arcane Battery can be put in this slot because we do have a decent amount of armor. So you can get energy this way. It won't be as much, it's not going to be the 575, I think it'd be like 350 if math serves me correctly for the armor, because again, I've got the energy shards. So, and then that's not too far off from what I have on my build, with just having the energy shards, as you see. Yeah, it's not that much less. So if you wanted to have your energy that way, and then you wanted to use this for something else, these shards, you are more than welcome to. Just a little bit of extra build diversity for you there. And then now we have basically Lazy Man's build, which is what I love. I call it .exe. It's a Mega Man reference because, well, it involves your pet. So, since Rhino has Roar on him and Nourish is a Subsume, Rhino is one of the only 2 Warframes in the game, take a wild guess who the second one is, who can use both Nourish and Roar. So, yeah, shock and surprise, that's pretty fucking strong. So I'm going with a full Umbral setup here. The Umbral Vitality here does not need to be leveled up at all because we're just utilizing the 2 here for the Iron Skin. So you'll just use this, you'll have your Overguard. Whenever this dies out, or right before it dies out, you can just recast your Iron Skin, put it back on, and you're fine. You are going to be casting 2 a little bit more as opposed to this build, but with this build, the main focus is going to be on your companion because of also with the Summoner's Wrath. So you're going to buff your companion with Roar and with Nourish. So they're going to get a bunch of damage from all of this. You're going to get even more damage because of the Molt Augmented that's here. And then you're going to get even more duration because of the Arcane Concentration that's here. So yeah, this is basically just you don't feel like doing anything today, and you're just gonna let whatever companion you want just kind of wreck shop, and it is a lot of fun. I do want to add, if you are running a like an attack companion or whatnot, like Nautilus, if you're running a companion like that for the shields to armor build here, that is going to affect the build a little bit because they're going to kill enemies, and you want enemies to be alive so that you can roll through them and then charge through them and get all your stuff up. So if your companion's killing them before you can do all that, you're not going to get all the benefits that you could initially. So that's going to explain my companion choice here, which is Taxon. I'm just going to be using little old Taxon as just a little shield guy and whatnot to just show off in the mission. Nothing too crazy here. Thought it'd be nice to use his weapon as well. Just something to apply some statuses. If you are wanting to run the .exe, the pet summon build, I would recommend Nautilus, of course, and then I would also recommend to use the Verglass here. Kind of a match made in heaven, if you will. And you're going to want to run this setup here. So you've got the cordon so that this will group everything. And then you've got the duplex bond, and you've got the fire up and the contagious bond that'll then spread statuses when your companion kills things and whatnot. Manifold bond resets everything. And yeah, this is the setup that you want for attacking, because duplex, you're just going to make a bunch of clones, and then the clones are going to use the Verglass here, and then that's just going to wreck shop. This is the Verglass build. Ignore the ribbon, that doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. For this, you just want to run Serration with all of this, and this is going to be just fine. So this is the Verglass build that you can use. I promise you, you do not need a ribbon. I just got a little lucky with mine, so I just kind of kept it. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm just going to use Taxon for this. I'm going to switch all my stuff back. And then the primary and secondary don't really matter a whole lot. Just using the Praetos here, just some little movement, and then I've showed off the Glaxion a lot. But I have not shown off the Cyodid yet. So this weapon's alt fire is basically just a grouping tool, and that's really good for Rhino because he wants to group things. So you do not need a grouping ability in order to just get everything together. The build for this doesn't matter too much, but I am going to show it off here just to show what I'm using. You can use whatever. I'm just using Arcane Fortifier here to maybe get rid of a little bit of Overguard and whatnot. But yeah, this is the setup, and this is the build. And we're going to show off how to get a bunch of shields. Well, how to get a bunch of armor. To see if we can't pump our Overguard to an absurd level. Let's see what I can get up to. Alright.
These foes deserve your respect. Honor them with quick deaths.
Start the mission,
Die
just
with your
do
victory.
this. Because we don't want to be caught with our pants down or
Life
nothing,
support
just trying to
has
set
been cut
everything
off.
up, you know?
They're trying to choke you out. Hold on.
Alright, and
I'm sending
then they're
auxiliary
all
life support.
kind of coming, but I need to group them. Hold on. I need to group them. And then this is the... And then that's the beauty of the... So you go through them, then you charge, then the parasitic armor, release armor, and now let's see what our damage is. Our damage, our armor. And 800k. 800k overguard. And now nothing else matters because I have Roar, and Roar with the Galaxion is just going to shred. Well, hell, Roar with anything just kind of shreds, but yeah. The primary weapon doesn't really matter all that much because, again, Roar just makes everything kind of powerful, so yeah. This is Rhino, this is Tank Boy. Because right now, he don't give a fuck. This is what I like about Rhino. Not really thinking, just kind of blasting things and they just kind of dying.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
Oops, come on, I can't aim. There we go. Yeah, they haven't really taken off much of my overguard, so once you get this thing set up once, unless you're in like really like high levels, you're pretty much good for like the entirety of the mission. The update is just around the corner. I cannot wait to play as Cody. She looks like so much fun. Little sad they got rid of the infinite ammo thing with her too, but I had a feeling that was going to go because that looked a little chaotic, I think maybe is the right word. So them letting go of that made sense, but I wish we could have had fun with it for a little while. Man, it's already been 3 minutes. Time flies when you're kind of killing shit.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
For anyone who's listening to this late, I highly doubt it, so I guess I'll get an idea of who's all listening to the gameplay. If you're interested in like a Warframe tier list, I'm kind of in the process of making one, but I don't know how much of a demand there is for, I guess, me to make it, because it would be kind of long, and then I would have to do it in like one take, which I'm not opposed to, but it would be like a decent little, it would be a sizable thing for me to try and do with my limited knowledge of editing. So curious to see what the thing is for that. I'll do one eventually, but it won't probably be a big priority or anything. Well, unless I guess if I get like a couple of comments that say to do it. Man, this thing with Roar is disgusting. Granted, a lot of things with Roar is disgusting. Where is it?
Another
come
life
on.
support capsule is now available.
Come on now. Yeah. You go ahead, buddy. Try. I am blasting him, and I'm just not. There we go. He couldn't even damage me because of the overguard. That is hilarious. But yeah, this is why Rhino is used. All right, we are done.
This will help our cause. Extraction is available if you need it.
All right, that is Rhino. He's always fun for me to play. I've been playing Rhino a lot. I've been playing him since like basically the start of the game. So I hope you learned something. If you're a newer player still watching this, I hope you're enjoying your time on Warframe. That's all I have for you. Have fun. Take care.
You
Later.
conquer yourself.